singer, Ingrid, whatever, says she was drunk during botched national anthem. The singer said she's checking herself into a facility to get the help I need. You had one job, sing the anthem, and you take drunk to do it.
You blew it. All right, we just rolled up to the Coca-Cola Woods. We're meeting our buddy, Rusty Creasey. You guys know him from all those Echo videos. We got some mutual partners with him, with Banded. He's actually standing out front right here. We're gonna spend the day with him, going through his food plots. He's gonna take us in the timber. I've got the director of photography in the truck, Slick Wilson, and we're gonna have us a day. It's just gonna be us three riding four-wheelers. I think he's gonna fertilize a plot, spray a plot, and just kind of give us some insight on what it takes to manage a piece of property like this. So Rusty's standing out here, he's ready. Let's go meet him.
Oh, you just got me calling you a bad name, man.
What's going on, man? How are you? Good to see you.
What's up, man? It's usually a little colder when I see you.
It is. He's still pretty though. This is the prettiest guy. I mean, you don't fit in out here. You're way too pretty to be out here.
I'll go find a shovel, headbutt it a couple times or something.
We're here with Mr. Rusty Creasey. You guys know him from all of his management stuff here, the old Echo videos. We spent some time here, what was that, January, February?
Yeah, February.
Kind of looking through the property, checking out some of his holes, but which hole are we spraying today?
It's just a food plot up what I call the little ditch as you're going kind of the lost buck hole. You know, I plant 17, 18 holes, and we hunt 3, so most of them's rest areas, and this is just a little resting hole, just a little extra food, a little reason to hang around. Doesn't really have a name, and it needs sprayed and fertilized, and then we're going to do a rain dance and catch that inch tomorrow night.
That's right.
And she'll be rolling.
Yeah. So we wanted to actually come today and kind of take you through that a little bit, maybe put the drone in the air, just kind of pick his brain, get some knowledge on how he manages such a great piece of property, getting it ready for duck season. So about to load up the four-wheelers and head on out there. See y'all in a minute.
All right, so we've got Clearfield rice planted in our food plots in the woods. And this is a little concoction I got from my buddies up here at Nutrient Ag that they told me would keep my rice clean. We're gonna spray maybe an acre today. Well, facet's about 20 ounces to the acre. 20 ounces of facet. And that's to kill your grasses, has a little activity on coffee beans. And then you've got Beyond, which is just for Clearfield rice. So if you're planting conventional rice, don't use this because it'll kill it. It has new path in it. And the rate on this is about, I think, 7 ounces to the acre. So we're gonna get some Beyond. And then a powder here called Permit Plus. It does really good on broadleaf and nutgrass, and I put about 1 ounce to the acre. So anytime you're using a soluble powder like this, and I learned this the hard way, always mix it up. Don't just pour it in the tank like that. Put it in a jug or something and get it mixed up into a slurry or a liquid form, so it doesn't stop your spray rig up. Know that from experience. You clean one of them out, you'll learn real quick. So we've got our broadleaves, we've got our grasses took care of with these chemicals. So now we got to have something to make it stick. Some kind of a circle. Basically what this is. You want to put about 1 pint to the acre. This is one of them things that ain't got to be exact on it. And all that does is heats it up and makes it stick to the plant and work. And the last thing I'm going to add is called Perk Plus. Just kind of keeps everything green and growing. Sometimes that, if you get a little too hot of a dose, sometimes it'll ding your rice up just a little. This right here kind of like a little foliar feed fertilizer, and I like it. About a quart to the acre is what I put. And a pint a quart. That keeps everything growing. And y'all have heard me say it before, y'all. It ain't rocket science. It's a little sweat and a little want to. You know, you think of, oh, it's a big fancy club. They got all kinds of equipment. Well, you can look at this. Now, this is a nice sprayer. But you got a 4-wheeler and a spray rig. And I'm going to put fertilizer out right after this with a little 4-wheeler and a seeder. So you ain't got to have big equipment to do any of this stuff. This is a Bowman manufacturing sprayer. They don't sponsor me or nothing, but they make the absolute best spray rig there is, made right here in Arkansas in Newport. Fold up booms, sprays 20 feet wide. So you can fold them dudes up, run through the woods, fold it out. You happen to hit a limb, they break away, fold back. You don't tear nothing up. I've done that plenty of times as well. So something to remember, y'all. Anybody that's working in the woods or doing this sort of stuff by yourself. My daddy used to, that was his last words every time we get off the phone. He'd say, son, be careful back there in the woods by yourself. So y'all, you cannot be too careful. I turned this dude over on top of me one time and it was not fun. Got lucky to get out from under it because I was down in the water with it. So anybody out there doing this stuff, be safe. We headed to the woods. It's needed sprayed a little bit, but just had other priorities. I'm just trying to knock it back and let the rice get in front of the weeds. It's for ducks, y'all. It ain't got to be perfect. I mean, you can look through there. I see some nut sedge. I see some barnyard coming, which are all good things for ducks. But we got a decent stand of rice, so we want to make. So what I'm gonna do is fold out, and I mean, I can knock this out in 3 or 4 minutes with the sprayer, and then load up with fertilizer and fertilize it. So it ain't rocket science, y'all. Just gotta hook it up and get at it. Ideally, you spray it and then fertilize it and then put the water to it. But in this hole, we can't control the water, so you're kind of at Mother Nature's mercy. Now, as you can see, you get some shade, and that's how this stuff stays damp and holds moisture, and that's how you're actually able to grow rice in the woods. Gets enough to grow, but not too much that it just burns up. So we've sprayed it, and you need moisture for some of that chemical to work, but you obviously need a rain or something to make this fertilizer work and get in the ground. So they're talking about a rain tomorrow night. So we're gonna try to throw out, I'm saying this is maybe a half-acre hole. So a little over half this bag ought to do it. We're gonna put, if you were doing it per acre, about 100 pounds to the acre of straight urea. Now, in a perfect world, I would come in here when I planted and put a couple 100 pounds per acre of triple 19 at planting. But as y'all can attest, it's about 2 miles to get to right here. Everything's hauled in bags, so you get by on as little as you can. And we're farming for ducks. We want to mate, but we're farming for ducks, so it ain't got to be perfect. always wanted to hunt this hole and never have. But man, you take a north or a south wind right here and it would be dirty. And it always makes a pretty good little chunk of food. On the far north end. This would be one of them spots if you was holding a bunch of ducks in the middle of the woods, or on the south end, you'd hunt up here away from them and the whole south end would be undisturbed. Check that opening out right there. I think you could trick them right here. Shoot them about here, that limb, right in the face. Singer, Ingrid, whatever, says she was drunk during Bot's national anthem. The singer said she's checking herself into a facility to get the help I need. You had one job, sing the anthem, and you take drunk to do it. So right here, this is just, you know, as I said, I plant 17 or 18 different holes in the woods, and we got 3 main holes that we hunt. And then there's not really a reason we don't hunt this other than it's hard access. You'd have to walk in, and a lot of the guys, you know, they can't walk. Some, you know, you take 70, 80-year-old guys, it's hard to get around. So if you can't get a boat there, this would be one of them spots. So more or less, this is just a little rest area. And, you know, everybody will say, well, man, and you can see it in the background, it's not a ton of food. But if that little old spot right there makes 5 bushels of rice, say 50 pounds, not quite 50 in a bushel, so 250 pounds, that's 5 50-pound bags of rice laying there. Well, when you think about it like that, that's a good bit of duck food. So if you get 10 of these spots scattered over 500 acres, you've made a decent little amount of food. And, you know, I don't think the ducks come to the woods necessary to eat anymore. They come for rest and to get away from pressure. Pressure's everything now. So it's just, if you can give them a little bonus and a little extra with a little food, I think that holds them, and I think it buys you an extra day here, an extra day there. And as I say on my social media, you know, if it buys you one hunt, and your kid or somebody kills their first band, or somebody kills their first duck, or your dog makes this great retrieve, all that work that we've done now, it's all been worth it. And that's what it's all about. So this is the biggest food plot inside the woods on the property, and this is the one I kind of showcase on social media a lot about water seeding. You know, you can look around, we're standing in water now. The beavers stop us up every spring and it'll fill up with water. All the woods around it will be dry, but this little old draw just stays wet. I got a pipe and I'll clean the beaver dam out of the end of that pipe. But before I do that, I'll come in here and I'll just sow the heck out of it. You know, 2.5, 3 bushels of rice to the acre. Let it set for 2 days. And I'll cut that pipe out, cut the beaver dam out of that pipe, and bring that water off. And now by that point, you know, it's the last week of May, first week of June, and that seed will have sprouted, and then it sinks and it sticks to that mud. Well, it's got to get it dry and get it to where the sun can get to it in the air. And when you do, it'll peg down the ground, you'll get a sprout. And this is what'll happen. You're able to get a great stand of rice, no equipment, nothing but a cedar on a four-wheeler and some sweat and a shovel. Now I have sprayed it twice with this rig right here, and I've put out fertilized once with my spreader. So, I mean, you can see this right here is fixing to make some groceries. And it's with nothing more than a spray rig, a cedar, and a shovel, and a lot of sweat. It can be done. I'm always tickled when I come here, man. It kind of gets you fired up. And when those heads first start coming on that rice, you get excited, and then the first time you see ducks over it, it comes full circle and you know you're close in.
So this one looks a little bit different than last time we were here, which was into duck season about February, and it was still just plumb loaded. But seeing it in the summertime and all the hard work that Rusty puts in, you can definitely see why the ducks hang around. This is some top-notch ground here.
To hold them or shoot them for 60 days, or shoot them about 40 days, and then lose them for 2 weeks, and then them come back and shoot them another week, and then them still hang around. I guess we're doing something right. We're gonna figure it out one day. It's a little different here. I let the front of the blind grow up smartweed, and there's a little rice that volunteered back, and then I planted the rest. Blind there. Like I said, this hole's good with anything but an east wind. The east is just not right. North wind, we scoot over to hunt a little skid blind. But man, this hole right here, I don't know how many thousands been killed here, but it's several thousand. Way before my time too. It was good long before Rusty was around, but she's still pretty solid. Y'all know why McCroy has a mosquito fest. That's our little hometown festival. You see why. They bad back here. Somebody asked me, well, they bite you much? I said, only if you sit still. So we don't stand around very much when we're back here, do what we got to do and leave. I guess this will be the last place my uncle ever hunted. He got sick in '01 when they were building the place, and then passed away in '02, July the 19th. So over 3 days. Don't realize how long you've been doing something until you stop and think about it for a second. Everybody's like, man, you're one of the OGs. I'm like, man, I ain't one of the OGs. And then you look in the mirror and you got this gray hair and gray beard and wrinkles and kids in college, and you're like, how'd I get old? I guess I have. What a heck of a ride.
All right, well, we are wrapping up here at the Gar hole, and we were here back in February, as Ruck said earlier, and I'll run the drone footage right now, but we came around this corner shooting some stuff for Realtree, man. The amount of ducks that were in here were just insane. Right off the nose of the boat, just mallards flying up all over the place. Been able to come here with Rusty, get the knowledge off of him, how he preps his property, this world-class piece of property for mallards and for duck season. Right now it's July, still got a few months left of growing for this rice, but you know, they're gonna flip the wells on here in the next couple months, get the boat ditches full. We're gonna try to rig up something for Canada, and before you know it, duck season will be here, so we're excited. And I guess we're about to wrap it up here at the Coca-Cola Woods.
Well, man, I'm gonna tell you, it was a lot more, I shouldn't say more fun, but it was a heck of a lot cooler with less skeeters the last time y'all were here. But at least y'all got to see kind of what goes into what makes the good stuff, you know. It don't just happen. You don't just flip a switch and they show up. It's a grind, it's a lot of sweat, but come November, it's all worth it. That's just a quick little tour, man. Give them food, water, no pressure. The rest will kind of fall into place, and that's kind of what I go by here. Everywhere I can grow some food, I grow it. Everywhere we can rest them, we rest them. But my motto is sweat now, shoot later. We're another day of sweating, but one day closer to the good stuff.